As Nigeria awaits the announcement of a new national minimum wage, governors say a new figure could push states to bankruptcy. While in a report, the Nigeria Governors Forum said increased recurrent expenditure has already strained budgets, leaving states like Abia, Ekiti and Kogi in deficit. While the proposed 62,000 naira minimum wage from the government, which is more than double the current amount, could destabilize state finances further, potentially leaving only 10 states financially stable. But labor unions are insisting on a minimum wage of 250,000 naira a month.
Well, economist Dr. Chijioke Ekechukwu joins us now. He's a former Director General at the Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Good to see you, and thanks as always. Well, this is one issue that has refused to go, but again, we're racing against time, knowing full well that labor is waiting to hear from the government, and so far the states haven't actually been categorical on whether they will up the figure. So the reading as it stands, it looks as if the states are up in arms against labor. Where does this leave the federal government in its negotiation?
It's going to make the negotiation more difficult for federal government. More difficult. I obviously agree that not all states are not equal. And we also agree that it's going to be a little difficult for some states to pay whatever thing that may be agreed by federal government, considering the fact that their revenue generation capacities are different. But having said that, we're talking about Nigerians, and these Nigerians all belong to federal system. If the states say they want to negotiate their own salaries, are they also going to negotiate the inflation rate in their own states? Are they also going to negotiate exchange rates in their own states? Are they going to negotiate the hardship that are already existing? So as far as they cannot control exchange rate, inflation rate, and other issues that are affecting the average Nigerian, then they just have to accept the minimum wage as proposed by Nigeria, proposed by the federal government. The reason is that these Nigerians are Nigerians, and they are exposed to the same economic hardship that everybody is exposed to. The fuel price is the same all over the country, and so if you say you are paying some people lower and others are any higher, they are facing the same inflation rate, they are facing the same exchange rate, they are facing the same fuel prices and other factors that are affecting the economy. So that makes it necessary that they have to go backwards and think of what to do to be able to meet that particular economic requirement to be able to pay those salaries. A lot of things can be done. Just to start thinking of how to generate more revenue. What are those things you can do as if you are just an SBU? Thinking of what to do to produce more money, more revenue for yourself, for the state. You know, the government has even helped by removing certain items from the exclusive list, making it possible for states to be able to engage in certain businesses that hitherto were handled by only the federal government. So if those are the facts, then they should think of what they need to do to be able to create very good revenue to meet this situation. Because these are Nigerians.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, so you don't agree when the Nigeria Governors Forum says, look, states will go bankrupt if, you know, they go ahead with the minimum wage being proposed by the organized labor. Meanwhile, the southern governors are saying, let the states negotiate their own minimum wage. Is it that the states, state governments or state governors, if you like, are they being lazy in terms of thinking outside this proverbial box and coming up with, you know, effective ways and efficient ways, you know, to improve the IGR?
Well, you will not blame them for reacting the way they are, because this is a situation where for many, many years, you sit down at the end of the month, money, revenue will be sent to you as your own FAC allocation. There is no human being that will not be complacent if he experiences this kind of situation where you do nothing and at the end of the month, money is sent to you, you'll be complacent. So what we expect that is that governors should think outside the box, using your set of words, and think of what to do to generate more revenue. These opportunities exist in every state. There is no single state that does not have its own areas. They have to actually have, they will have advantage over every other state. God has blessed many states with various resources. They may be natural resources, they may be business resources, and use them to create, bring a think tank together, economic team, bring them together. What can we do, gentlemen, to double our revenue? That's actually what happens in private sector. When private sector people face problems, they bring their team together. Gentlemen, we must achieve this particular level of target in the next 10 years or the next 5 years or 2 years. What do we need to do? I don't see that happening in states because...
You know, you're the expert.
Yes.
Let me jump in here. Apologies. Because you're the expert, and we've seen so many states, almost every state in Nigeria, they have their economic summit year in, year out. So what then is the essence of that if at the end of the day we're not getting to see the results?
I'm sure you have seen a lot of people who every morning they take a walk. But each time you see them, they're either these are people who are watching, wait. But every time you see them taking a walk, at the end of the day, you see them still as fat as they were before they started all those walk. Now, the reason is that you do that walk, you go all ahead to continue to eat those things that will make you add weight. If we say economic summit, what is the purpose of the economic summit? You must be purpose-driven in deciding on whether to even hold economic summit or not. And how do you even measure yourself after one economic summit and the other? Have you read the communique of the previous one to say, we said we are going to achieve this, that, and that? Then you check the milestone you have. If you are not achieving anything, there's no point holding the subsequent ones that are going to come up. So those are the things. They may hold it for the purpose of news, you know, recording
just
that.
for the optics.
For the optics, yes.
Okay, so now, in terms of, I mean, a lot has been said by experts. There's a need for governors, the state governments, to plug, you know, the holes that lead to wastage and what have you. Alongside that, what are the practical steps that states need to take now, you know, to begin to be able to, you know, pay not just minimum wage, but to live up to expectation?
I can still tell you that all these things depend on who is leading the states. Because we have seen one particular state for many years that didn't pay pension, didn't pay salaries, but then somebody just comes in without borrowing one single money. He's already paying all outstanding. We can mention the states. All outstanding pension, and they're paying salaries up to date. So what that tells you is that it depends on how prudent and how knowledgeable about the governor is to driving an economy to make it profitable. So it's all about who leads that particular state. There are a lot of states today that are owing their workers for 4 months, for 5 months, not because they don't have the money to pay, because they have not taken it seriously to say this is a priority to pay these people. The monies can be generated. Each time we talk about generating money, everybody will just look at IGR, just go to charge them taxes here and there. No. There are many ways. There are many ways you can generate. You know, when you travel, you see a lot of countries generating a lot of money from tourism. Tourism is just one major way to generate money.
A state like Kogi, for example?
Oh, yeah. A lot of
confluence state.
Yes.
Yeah.
Apart from the confluence, there are many things they can do. You see all those rocks you are seeing here and there? These are all money generating avenues. So apart from tourism, there are many other things people can do.
If we, and now in answering this, I also wanted to name the state and also talk about the. You thought we'll name it. Yeah. So, but quickly here, is it that this is on us, that we haven't been able to put in place a system to check those who are seeking our elections, to the extent that we need to gauge them, we need to have this conversation to see if they're actually worth the office?
Is that where it needs to start from?
You and I know the methods and the ways people are elected into offices. We all know. The fact that you vote for people just because they are your party man, because they're from your place, because you know you're going to benefit from these people when they get in. Many times we have dropped the idea of voting for people because they can turn around the particular state or turn around the MDA they are supervising, because he followed us during our campaign everywhere. That's why you want to put him there. Not because he has the capacity to turn around the place. So many things are wrong with us, not just us, because many times we want to vote in the people that will work, but the system will say no to
Does
that.
it include revenue sharing formula, for example? Right now, federal government gets about 52%, states 26%, the local government about 20%. The lowest.
You know, apart from the revenue sharing formula, even sharing at all is wrong. That sharing where you have to share from federal to states is a wrong system that we need to correct. We keep talking about this. Let every state be able to be accountable for whatever thing they want to generate and spend. If you do that, and then they send to the federal, you will see that states are going to start looking to identify those potentials, those opportunities within their own environment. Every state can generate their own income and be self-sustaining and be like a strategic business unit, making sure that monies are generated and monies are spent within their own environment.
That really should be the approach. Dr. Chijioke Ekechukwu, former DG, Abuja Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and also an economist. Thank you so much for joining us on News Night.